Princess Bedtime Stories. The Little Mermaid, Dreams Under the Sea. Ariel's secret grotto was her favorite place in the sea. It was where she kept all the objects that she'd found from the world above. She was fascinated with humans, even though her father forbade her to have anything to do with them. During her last trip to the surface, Ariel had rescued a handsome prince named Eric when a terrible storm sank his ship. She had fallen in love with him, but since he was a human, she left before he could see her. A little while later, Ariel's fish friend Flounder found a statue of Eric and surprised the mermaid with it. She swam over to the statue and began to talk to it. "Ariel!" cried Sebastian, a crab who was her father's advisor. "Get a hold of yourself! That's not a human, it's a hunk of rock!" Ariel ignored him. The statue said that if you two would please excuse us, he has something he'd like to tell me. Ariel placed her head on the statue's shoulder and pretended to answer him. "Why, yes, I'd love to marry you, Eric." "Marry!" Sebastian roared as he swam back into the grotto. "You will do no such thing! In the name of His Royal Highness King Triton, I forbid this kind of talk!" "Oh, Sebastian," Ariel said impatiently. "It's a statue, remember? I'm just pretending. Don't worry. And please don't tell my father, okay?" Sebastian reluctantly shook his head. "I just know I'm going to regret this," he moaned. "Oh, come on, Sebastian. Quit being a party pooper." "We can have the wedding right here in the grotto," Ariel said. "There's so much to do." "You'll both help me, won't you?" "Help you with what?" Sebastian asked as Ariel handed him some seaweed to decorate with. "It's make-believe. You said so yourself." "Oh, dream weddings are every bit as much work as real ones," Ariel insisted. "Everything has to be just right." "I think Prince Eric is dressed perfectly for a wedding," Ariel continued. "This will never work. The real Prince Eric is a human," Sebastian said. "He lives on land, and every self-respecting sea dweller knows that mermaids live underwater." "That may be true," said Ariel, "but who knows what the future will bring?" "May I be the chef?" Flounder asked. "Please, please?" Ariel laughed. "Of course, Flounder," she said. "I want you to prepare all the most wonderful foods you can imagine. How about some seaweed souffle and some plankton salad?" Flounder asked. "Oh, yes," Ariel cried as she imagined the feast. "And don't forget the wedding cake. Just leave it to me," Flounder said proudly. "This will be a wedding dinner like no one has ever seen." "You can say that again," Sebastian muttered. "Oh, I can hardly wait," Ariel exclaimed. "I can picture the entire ceremony. My sisters will make such beautiful bridesmaids, and my father will look so proud and distinguished as we—" "Your father?" Sebastian looked as if he was ready to faint. "Oh, don't be such a party pooper, Sebastian," Ariel said lightly. "Didn't I just say that?" "I'm not actually going to invite my family since this is a pretend wedding. At least for now," she added quietly. "That's it!" Sebastian cried. "I can't take any more of this nonsense." "Flounder," Ariel called. "Sebastian's leaving. Can you think of someone else who could be the master conductor of the grand orchestra?" "Grand orchestra?" Sebastian asked. Master Conductor! Of course. You're my first choice, Sebastian, Ariel said. But nothing, Sebastian cried. A crab must do what a crab must do. The pretend wedding must go on. Grabbing a candlestick from Ariel, Sebastian began to conduct his pretend orchestra. May I have this dance? Flounder asked the little mermaid, bowing politely. With pleasure, kind sir, Ariel laughed. She and Flounder danced, twirling around until they were both dizzy. That evening, Ariel was trying on a veil she had made when Flounder arrived with a pearl necklace. Oh, Flounder, it's beautiful, Ariel gasped with delight. It belongs to a friend, Flounder said. She said you could borrow it. Ariel looked around. With the shell she used to decorate her hair, she had something old. The veil she just made was something new. The pearls were her something borrowed. And a bracelet she'd found was her something blue. That's everything a bride needs, Ariel exclaimed. The next morning, Sebastian nervously followed Ariel as she made her way to the grotto. I hope no one sees us, he said. Not getting cold feet, claws, are you? Ariel teased. Most assuredly not, Sebastian retorted. The orchestra is ready when you are. Are you ready? Flounder asked when Ariel and Sebastian arrived at the grotto. The mermaid nodded, and the fish escorted her down the aisle as the orchestra played the wedding march. Then a funny thing happened. Sebastian began to sniffle. Ariel turned around in surprise. Weddings always make me cry, the crab said with a shrug. Then Sebastian cleared his throat and moved to the front of the grotto. Do you, Princess Ariel, take this statue to be your... Now listen closely to this part, young lady. Make-believe husband? I do, Ariel cried happily. And do you, Mr. Pretend Prince, take this princess to be your make-believe wife? Sebastian finished. Ariel leaned toward the statue. He says he does, she told the crab with a giggle. Well then, I suppose I have to pronounce you imaginary husband and wife, Sebastian said. Hooray! Flounder cheered. With her eyes glowing like stars, Ariel hugged her friends. Oh, thank you. This has been a wonderful pretend wedding, she cried. And now I'm inviting you both to my real wedding to Prince Eric. I'm not sure when it will happen, or where, or how, but I know it will. It won't matter that there's an ocean of difference between us. Nothing can stand in the way of true love. Ariel sighed with happiness, imagining that she was really marrying Eric. At the end of the ceremony, they would kiss. Ew! She cried suddenly. She realized that she was actually kissing a very startled flounder. Oh my. Aha! Sebastian shouted. See what comes of thinking a mermaid could marry a human prince? As if that could ever really happen. But Ariel didn't care what Sebastian said. She knew in her heart that someday she and Eric would live, as cliche as it sounds, happily ever after. The end. What's your dream wedding like? Let me know in the comments below. See you later. Bye.